Hello and welcome back to the Relationship Circle podcast. I'm your host, Beck Thompson, and this podcast is all about helping you stop running in circles, ditch those dating games, and let your inner compass lead the way. I'm slowly getting my voice back, if you can hear. I lost my voice last week, a mix of being sick and a bit too much karaoke. So hopefully my voice isn't too annoying for you to listen to this episode because it's really, really, really important. I am going to get vulnerable with you today, and that's not something I really do on this podcast. I don't think I talk a lot about what you can do to change your situation, but not a lot about what I've been doing to change my situation. And I just had an incredible session with an amazing woman. And I had this realization that I quite often sit in the doing rather than the being. And what I mean by that is that I historically, and probably have to be very aware of it going forward, but derive my worth from doing things, from the things that I do for others, from the actions I take, from the things I do for myself, the things I do in my business. It's how I get SHIT done. And part of me loves this and thrives off it. And I'm good at it, right? Like I'm good at the doing. So it's easy for me to fall into this spot, but I'm not good at the being, and I'm not good at receiving. And I, quite honestly would much rather be in a position where I'm doing things for others and have control over it than receiving. And it was funny. I just got off this session and I am like, got to practice receiving. And at my door comes a bunch of flowers, which doesn't happen often. I was like, oh, right. I've got to practice receiving right now, which I did, and was super grateful for them. Anyway, I'm rambling, but the point of this episode is that I want to talk about the power of just being. And the difference between the two is that doing is like generally doing things for external validation, for action, for performance, for productivity, to get stuff done, right? And when you do something and someone is grateful for it, you get this sense. I personally got this sense of like, oh, that feels really good. It feels like I've been able to help someone in some way or make a difference by doing things. And being is about presence. It's about essence, about having connection to self. And quite often when I'm in this doing, I don't have a connection to myself. I don't know what feels good or what doesn't feel good because I'm so in my head doing things. And I know I'm not the only one who feels like this because I have a lot of women that I work with that feel like this. But if they feel like they're not, actually I had a session with a client today and I was like, how do you feel about that? And then she constantly kept telling me what she was thinking. And I was like, we need to connect with your body again, right? But I'm just telling myself the same thing. So if this is you and you feel like if you're not achieving or producing or taking some action, then you're not enough, then please listen to this because you purely are enough just by being you. And this is really, really important. And it's really important for women because I feel like societally, or there's this cultural narrative, and women have kind of been conditioned to prove their value through doing, through productivity, through people pleasing, through action, through baking the cake for you, through through doing all these things for you rather than just being the person that you are and that your energy and that your essence is enough for your worth, right? So if you haven't been in this position like me, like ask yourself the question, like, do you feel guilty resting? Because I know I do. I get this like sense of guilt when I go to rest and not like, I don't even know if I can just lay there and do nothing sometimes. Like even just reading a book is difficult for me because there's things I could be doing. So if this is you and you feel like you need to earn the right to slow down, then please listen into this. So certainly what I discovered when I was in this phase of doing is that, yes, I get this energy and excitement and it kind of gives me this boost from doing it. But the problem is that if I overdo it and then it leads to me feeling burnt out and not wanting to do any of it. And so I struggle between the middle ground or even just being, right? I get this burnout, this disconnection from it, this resentment, kind of questioning, what am I doing? Why am I doing all this for? And it's not like I then go into the being. I go into the like complete disconnect from everything. And, there's many different places from where this might have started. I'm not going to unpack my childhood per se on this podcast, but, have a think about for you where this pattern could have started and if it's helpful for you and in what way is it helpful for you? Because I know I don't want to discard this completely, right? This has some good in it. The doing has some good in it. I just need to balance it also with the being. So for me, what I've started doing is that I want to notice when I'm in this cycle, and it's quite easy for me to notice when I'm in this cycle of doing because it's got a speed about it for me. I don't know what it will feel like for you, but start to feel like when you've got the urge to prove your worth or to prove something by your doing, and then interrupt this pattern. Who am I without this task? Who am I without doing the thing for the people? Who am I without even cooking dinner for the family or doing the washing or showing up and taking someone out? Who am I without that doing? What does it look like for me? And there only need to be micro pauses in the thought, right? It's just the awareness of the thought that's happening and awareness of the pattern that's happening. That's a huge thing. Again, if you can create that awareness in the pattern that's happening, you can shift that pattern. So that's what I'm working on. And then anchor into being enough. So through journal prompts, through affirmations, through mirror work, through just being and practicing being. I'm really practicing not filling up my space too much. That's been a deliberate practice for me over the past month is how do I not just fill up my space with doing? And it's uncomfortable at times, but that's because it's change, right? And it's different. And create rituals around it. So whether that's morning stillness, having a cup of tea or coffee by the sun and just sitting there with it, going for a walk without a podcast or a book on, just being in nature, having time without goals or productivity or reaching for something or to-do lists or having space there, creating spaciousness. That's a big thing that I've been working on lately. And set boundaries with yourself with the overdoing. So know when you're getting to that space of doing too much and just switch to prioritizing your energy over the outcome. So prioritize how you're feeling in the moment over what is going to come. Because I think that when I've had pockets of time in my life when I've done this, it's been so powerful for me. I haven't stuck to it. So that is my goal this time and you can hold me accountable to that. But it's been really powerful and it's resulted in outcomes better than when I'm in the doing all the time. The space needs to be there and I certainly need space for creativity and creativity is super important in my business. So that's why I'm working on it. So a few journal prompts that I've been thinking of that you guys could use to support you in this are what makes me feel worthy without doing anything? How do I feel worthy when I'm not doing anything? Where in my life am I overgiving or overperforming? Where do I feel like I have to prove my worth to other people by the things that I do? And how can I honor my being today? How can I honor just me being me? So this week, I invite you to do a little less, fill up a little less space, just be and see what unfolds, see what comes up for you, see what's uncomfortable for you and sit in that uncomfortableness. And the more that you can just be in that feeling of what is coming up for you, the more that you will be able to understand what is underneath it and have it shift. So that is my call out to you. Let's go on this journey together. It would be nice to have you alongside me and let me know if this is something you also experience and struggle with because I would love to support if I can. All right. Have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for listening to the show. If you got value from this, please don't hesitate to share with a friend so they can get value from this too. And don't forget to hit follow so you don't miss an episode. It's also how I keep this podcast alive.